Hi and welcome to today's edition of Traders Talks. My name is Kabir, I'm the Senior Sales Manager of CQR Security, and today I am going to discuss CPR of cables. So that's EN 50575, the 2016 edition. This standard was brought out European-wide in 2017. And it is a regulation, so it needs to be adhered to, and it's your job as an installer to ensure that your cables meet the standard. What I'm going to do for you today is just briefly explain the differences between the different types of cable, and although I'll specifically be talking about intruder cables, this standard applies to all cables used. So not just intruder cables, it also needs to be telecoms, that needs to adhere to it, your data cables need to adhere to it, everything needs to adhere to it. So what is the standard? The standard itself is to test your cables and their reaction to fire. And with these cables, you need to go and get them third-party tested. We send our cable away to ensure that they meet the standards that we state that they do. Once the test house, what they do is they take a lot of our cable, they hang it up and they burn it. And after they burn the cable, they measure 3 different things. They measure the acidity, they measure the smoke, and they measure the flames. Depending on how well the cable does, depends on where it sits in the scale. The scale goes from A to F. F means you send it for testing and it fails, so it doesn't mean anything, but because you've got it tested, it does pass the regulation. And as you go progressively towards A, the cable will perform even better. Our cables at CQR are all made to E, and it's ECA in case you wanted that level of information. And at CQR we manufacture our cables to CCA. Not to be confused with copper-clad aluminium, but big C, little a. We can fulfill the majority of your requirements if an architect or a specifier says you need a certain type of cable. With all of the cables that you use, and if it's not CQR, go and check your cable to ensure it has it, is a level of information. It needs to be CE marked, so I don't know if you can see that. Ours are. It needs to say where it was manufactured. So this was manufactured at CQR. It needs to say what level it makes within the CPR standard. If your cable meets all the standards but it doesn't have the information that's on this little label here, it doesn't meet the standard. It needs to say what it is. At CQR, we take that away from you. You don't need to worry about it so much, because we guarantee that all of our cables are CPR compliant. And if you contact your local traders, they will be able to provide you with a declaration of performance and a certificate of conformity for these types of cables. My name is Kabir. Thank you for joining us today.